I'd highlight the organic and M&A driven cost savings and diversification away from branded pharmaceuticals as the most threatening to CROs, offset by increasing outsourcing that has been the talk of the industry for quite some time. And I think the question that the industry is asking itself now is that a good thing? Is that really something to brag about? Or is that a yoke around our neck? Because the extra 2 or 3 or 4% of sales that are spent on R&D in this industry above automotive or technology hardware, or if you drop down to software, double or more the percentage of sales, is that just wasted dollars? Is that just lighting a match to capital? But we do expect, our group expects, that the percentage of sales invested in R&D by pharma will continue to shrink as companies at least try to shrink into what I'm thinking as the skinny clothes after the patent cliffs. So we think healthcare reform introduces two key threats as it relates to the more broad-based health insurance reform. One of those is comparative effectiveness. If implemented aggressively, that would mean that FDA would no longer, I don't think, be the highest hurdle in the race to the market. I think the health economic value question becomes the higher hurdle. Second would be tighter pricing. The volume boost that the pharmaceutical industry gets from the expanded coverage in Medicaid, for example, is significant, but the negative shift, and I'm sorry, significant and has received a lot of attention. The negative side of that, and the part that I don't think has received as much attention, is the payer mix shift toward fully or partially funded government coverage. So if you can't read it, at the top bullet point there in this slide says in 2014, 75% of Americans will be eligible for government coverage or subsidy. Longer term, M&A will prevail. M&A presents some interesting headwinds for CROs, I think. A driver of the consolidation deal is cost savings, and part of that cost savings will come from R&D. For smaller CROs, M&A leads to larger, more concentrated clients looking for full-service vendors. Another challenge for CROs is that the diversification strategies pursued by some clients take them into areas that either A, demand lower R&D investments, so again, contributing to that reduction in R&D as a percentage of total sales. I'm thinking things like OTC or animal health. B, those diversification strategies require R&D in areas that may very well be outside of the industry's skill set. Is it an addressable market for this industry, and how does it pivot to be able to address those kinds of things? If the U.S. is mature, if sales growth is going to move away from the U.S., R&D spending is going to move away from the U.S. as well. So if this industry is very U.S.-centric, how are you going to grow your business in a mature U.S. market? How are you going to gain share? There's going to have to be a lot of efficiency. We're going to have to figure out a way to do it much lower cost than the U.S. Perhaps adaptive clinical trials and information technology does play a role there. How do you position, as a third topic, how do you position for when these strategic vendor evaluation, this cycle that's been now seemingly going on forever, but certainly this round, a couple of years, maybe 3 years at this point, those renewals are coming up pretty soon. Some of them are. How do you position against those renewals? Will they stay with the incumbent, or will there be some new blood brought in?